Lisa LaBelle, everyone!
Hello, world. How's everyone out there today? Welcome to the L4 podcast, the #1 podcast in the world. Yes. I hope everyone is having a fantastic time doing whatever you're doing right now. And what you're doing right now, you're listening to me, but maybe you're doing something else too while you're listening to me. And that's fantastic. Let's listen to a little Flight of the Bumblebee by Korsakov. Have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of this? Have your ears ever heard this song? It's getting exciting. You know what those bees, y'all. Einstein said when the bees are gone, so are human beings. So let's get our shite together, human beings, and save the bees. What's up? What's going on? What's going on today? What's going on in the world today? People fighting. No, it's okay. It's you know what's going on. Let's do a little opener with a little tribute to Sam Kinison. Let's get motivated. Little Pentecostal preacher. I don't know about you, but I woke up this morning and someone told me you don't have to lose. You don't have to be defeated. You can win in life. That's a little Sam Kinison tribute. And to motivate us, his Pentecostal preacher style. He was a Pentecostal preacher, and he has a bit about it, and he also does it in some of his interviews, and I just freaking love it. I don't know about you, but I woke up today, and you don't have to lose. You don't have to be defeated. I appreciate it because my mom, she made my brother and I, we went to those Pentecostal churches growing up. So that's how it was. They just kind of scream at you some motivation lines from the front of the church. They don't even got a mic. And that's probably why they're screaming, because they feel like they got to get their their vocals back to the ears of the people in the back of the church. So that's maybe why they were screaming. I don't know. You got some coffee today? Let's go. We're in the middle of the day over here, and I'm drinking some coffee. I got some ribs on the grill. Yeah, my husband, he got those ribs on the grill because we have company. We call it company. I'm from up north, and you say you got company. You got company that is visiting. And company is a person, a human being that comes and visits you. We got company. We're making some ribs. I'm going to make some potatoes. And I got to get to that quite soon. So we're going to keep this short and snappy. But we got to have coffee. We're going to have the caffeine throughout the day. Let's take a sip. If I can get a coffee IV straight to my tits, I would. That's how much coffee I drink. What's going on out there? Women, those ladies be getting Botox in their traps. That's what's going on to make their necks look longer and more dainty. What? We're going to have a lot of ladies walking around there with weeping willows of a neck. They're not going to be able to hold their necks up. What you doing, bitches? What you doing? Think about it. God. The IT guy, he's up to it again. He's calling people out, saying, you're not qualified. You know that? You know that? You know that, IT guy? You don't have a background in that. You can't do that. It's not just the IT guy. It's other people. But that's the main dude that you call. You don't have a background in technology, so you can't talk about it. Hey, Mike Dell, you can't be in computers. You went to med school. What are you doing? Then the IT guy says, hey, Bill Gates, you went to school to be a lawyer. You can't be in technology. Ooh. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, what you doing? You only finished 2 years of college. That's gen eds. You can't be in technology. Well, all of their bank accounts says they can. So you go out there and you go be an autodidact and you do what you do. Oh, Orville and Wilbur Wright, they don't have an aeronautics degree. They can't build an airplane. Well, they did. They did it. And we all know what they did. They're in the books. You go get a book in school, they in it. That's what's going on. Jason Ballard over there, he's at Icon. And Icon is a 3D printing housing company. And Jason Ballard over there, he's in Austin, Texas. Now, Jason Ballard, I think he used to wear those Kenneth Cole Tech sneaks, but now he's wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. He's going to be the true space cowboy. That's what I think is going to happen. Actually, I know it is because their company is excelling through space-time at lightning speed. They have a 3D printer. It's a big ol' arm, kind of like this, but on a bigger scale, a much bigger scale called Titan. I think it was made off of their other arm called Phoenix. I think that was their first 3D printing arm called Phoenix. And then they went and they're like, bloop, let's make a cuz of Phoenix. And that's Titan. So Titan's out there printing buildings. It's just a big arm and it's printing buildings. That's what Jason Ballard's doing. That's what he's doing over there. It is wild. These 3D printers printing homes. And Jason's the one executing it. He's out there printing buildings with that Titan arm. Wow, this place is huge. There's lots of space, minimal interior walls. There must be a lot of scissor trusses and gang nail plates. Nope, not with Titan. Titan got that proprietary material. I think it was called reinforced formcrete. That's what Titan uses. And that exterior printed shell is so strong, it can carry the entire roof load across a wide span. So no need for a saggy truss. There's no trusses sagging in that building. Because you don't need a scissor truss in that building. Titan's like scissor trusses and gang nail plates. You can go pound sand. Eat crow, yo. That's what's going on. And then Jason Ballard over there, he's doing he's printing Mars habitats. That's what analog printing Mars habitats over there. That's for the astronauts. They're preparing to go to Mars and they're living in a habitat that Jason Ballard printed with his printer, Vulcan. Why wouldn't you name your printer Vulcan? Come on. Next up, request Skeletor. That's the next printer I would request. They're working with NASA and DARPA on a project called Olympus to build some things on the moon. They're gonna use the lunar regolith to make concrete-like material and build some things on the moon. Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Hey, I gotta give a shout out to my brother. He has been supporting my clips. I look and I see a like. It's my bro. Thanks, brother. Shout out. Thank you. No matter how ridiculous or absurd or the peak level of absurdity it is, he supports me and I thank you. And I know my sister-in-law does too. And, I'm just feeling very fortunate for the most incredible people in my life. And two of those main people, that's my brother and my sister-in-law. And my little nephews. God, I miss them. Oh, what happened last week? What happened? Oh, what happened, Lisa? Where were you? I was out doing some comedy. That's what was going on. Punchline puts on comedy, a few comedy shows around town. Comedy on the Green, and I did that. And it was fantastic. I had such a freaking blast. It was so fun. And then I got to talk to Jamie about some technology things. And when anyone wants to talk to me about technology, oh my God, yes, yes. All of my chakras inside of me light up like one of those switchboards. Say a switchboard and all those light up. Back in the 50s when like all the calls were coming in and the switchboard light up. That's me. That's inside me. That's all my cells when you want to talk about technology. Yes. Let's go. So that was fun. And then I had an improv show, and that was fun too. Did that with improv troop. That was so much fun, and I got to do it with some of my improv besties. We got to be guests on a show, and it was just incredible. We had such a blast, and the audience was freaking fantastic. I cannot be any more fortunate for such fantastic audiences. It's so good, and I hope it's just fantastic to do an improv show and a comedy show in the same week was just absolutely. I mean, it was wonderful. I just absolutely love it, and I know hope is not a strategy, but I'm asking the universe to bring me a lot more opportunities like that because I want my calendar to be so jammed packed. That if anything wants to get, there's not even a trickle of water can get into that schedule because it's so jam-packed full of stand-up shows and improv shows. And that's the timeline I am chasing on my pet dragon soaring through space-time. We're jumping timelines, guys. You and I, we're jumping over to the timeline that we want our life to be. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. So that was so fun. You know, it's interesting because a lot of my sets it's about technology, as you guys know, and so it's about like humanoids, and you guys know what humanoids are because you listen to me, and even before you listened to me, I'm sure you knew what a humanoid was. And so I did a set. And it was a very short set, but the whole thing was about humanoids. And then no one laughed at the end. I'm like, it can't be because of my joke or my delivery. I mean, God, it was so perfect and spot on. No, but I thought, something feels a little off. Let me ask them if they know what a humanoid is. They didn't. No one knew what a humanoid was. And I felt like I was in Poughkeepsie or something. And I'm sorry if anyone's out there in Poughkeepsie and you're very tech literate. And but I feel like someone out in Poughkeepsie, like a lot of people out there, might not know what a humanoid was. But people here in Atlanta, where Georgia Tech is, and it wasn't in Atlanta. It was kind of in a podunky place, and I'm not, that's just, I mean, look, here's the thing. We all have AI now and phones, and if you don't even use AI, you have Google and social media, and what are you doing? You just don't like to be aware of the world that you're living in? Really? And I'm over here being Judgy McJudgerson. But yeah, that's so I figured out that's why that joke didn't hit, because no one knew what I was talking about. So now, before I do a joke with a humanoid in it, I ask, do you know what a humanoid is? And some people laugh, especially at Helium, because they all know what a humanoid is. So moving on. I've been listening to a lot of Eminem. Eminem has helped my speech impediment. What you do is you listen to an Eminem song, and then you go ahead and say the words as fast as he does it, and it forces you to really listen to what you're saying and the words you're enunciating, and not to get your tongue all wrapped up in the words that you're saying. And let me tell you something, Eminem and Dr. Dre, it works. Try it. It works. It will help you be a little smoother in meetings. It will help you be smoother in life. And it helps you be a little faster with your tongue. Eminem's the king of that. And here, if anyone, here's the thing, when I was growing up as a kid, some people like my cousins that are... No, they're kind of the black sheep of the family. They had Eminem posters above their bed, and I thought that was kind of weird. Like, just put it on your your vertical wall. Just put a poster on your wall like a normal person, but they put it on their bed, I guess, so they can like look up at him I don't know, man. But anyone who put an Eminem poster above their bed, I don't think they're doing too good today. I don't know, but that's just what I would deduce from that. It kind of surprised me, that's all. What else? You know what? You need some. It is sometimes you're going through the mud. You know what I mean? Nah, man. There's a lot of people out there who support you and you're going through the mud, but you just need some of that energy to get through it. Some of that like eat crow energy, some of that like go pound sand energy just to get through it sometimes. And I've been building that energy up. I've got aqueducts full of go pound sand energy. Just full of it. I think you can see the aqueducts from the ISS in space. That's how full that my energy is. That's what you got to do. You got to just build it up. Let's get some more coffee. Yeah. There's if ever there was a space hype girl, I am her. I'm the space hype girl. I'm like, let's go to Wendy's and get a Frosty and then head on up to gander on over to space and say what's up. Let's go space. I just love space. We're going to talk about space a little bit. Sleeping in space sucks balls, though. Oh, yeah, I said it. It's not great. It's not good because you're sitting up. You're floating. And unless you strap yourself down into bed, like when you just, the thing about sleep is like at the end of the day, you're like, I just want to lay down, rest my bones. But up in space, you don't really feel your bones. So when you get tired, it's got to be a total mind screw, like a mind flip. And then you just, you go in like this little closet and it looks like a sleeping bag and you get in the sleeping bag and then you zip it up and you just literally, your arms stick out like this and you just float around and you're like, how do you, so basically like you're going to be floating around in the ISS and you could just fall asleep because that's how you sleep. You just sleep floating around. So God, that's got to like mess it up so bad. That's got to mess up the sleep so bad. They're going to have to change that. There's a spa in Japan. I saw that you can get an add-on. It's a cat add-on. You opt to have a cat go on your back and make biscuits. You know how they make those cute little biscuits and tots. Biscuits and tots. And it just, so I'm like, that's an add-on. So they put these cats there and they make biscuits, and that's just like indentured servant vibes, right? Yeah. I think I would opt out of that. But it's pretty wild. Did you guys see in the news? Yikes. How about that? It was a 20-year-old that threw the Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's house. And before this, Indianapolis city councilman had 13 rounds fired at his door because he supported construction for a new data center. Let's see. It was someone. I think they fired into the door. That's wild. Wow. I mean, but the problem is these anti-AI people who think AI is the demise of civilization and they're going and retaliating. This is just going to, this retaliation style, this is just going to further escalate AI monitoring. Don't you think, people out there, you go do something like that and you don't think that these creators like Sam Altman of AI is going to be like, how can I protect my family? Well, I think I can do it with AI. It's going to be like, we're slowly turning into the Minority Report. We're going to have some they're not going to be cogs though. It's going to be AI. And it's like they're predetermining a crime. I feel like that's going to happen for a little bit and then it's going to stop. But I think it's coming. I think it's down the road, and things like this is going to accelerate it. Wild times we are in. And don't think too hard, boys and girls out there, because thinking should be like any other hobby. It should be done in moderation. And that's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, what are we getting into today? I said I was going to take a sip of coffee, and then I didn't. So I'm going to do that right now. Let's listen to more Flight of the Bumblebee. Let's go. Korsakov. Let's increase our IQ. So Beethoven, when he wrote, I think it was the ninth symphony, he was basically deaf. And he had to, rumor has it that he used one of those, you put like a stick in your mouth to feel the vibrations. So basically, and then you put it to the floor and it vibrates your jaw. And I guess the vibrations go up into, like, it bypasses your hearing, your cochlea. And you can feel, like, that's how he felt the music. And he also, I think, he chopped off the legs to his piano to feel the vibrations on the floor of the music. That is wild. And I was just thinking, though, like, on Mars, we're not going to be able to hear. So a bunch of people be walking around with all those, like, rods hanging out their mouth, touching the floor, putting their rod to the floor. That's all I'm saying. Bad joke. Jeez. That was cheesy, right? But I know it's just a funny image of thinking of having like a stick walking around on Mars and like touching the ground. Like, am I coming close to a nuclear power plant? Because I don't really I don't want to walk into it, and I have sunglasses on that make me not really able to see because of the radiation. And so they're like down there touching them. Anyway, okay, we'll move on. Y'all are here for my cheesy jokes. Let's go. Okay, so going into SpaceX. Oh my gosh. Remember when some environmental arm was like, hey, you can't do rockets because it's scaring the seals. And Elon's like, all right, what do we have to do to what do we have to do to prove that we're not scaring the seals? And they're like, you got to go catch a seal, put a camera on it. So you're going to go distress a seal, put a camera on it, and then somehow see if the seal. It's like, what, these places, like, they make these rules thinking that no one is going to actually do it. And then when someone like Elon comes along, is like, all right, well, we need to get past this. So what do we need to do to prove to you we're not scaring the seals? And then they're like, oh, I don't know, hurry up, make something up. It's just freaking insane. That is insane. That's insane. And it's frustrating. God. But thankfully, people like Elon, they're like, all right, let's go. We got to do this. We got to get to it. Good God. That's what's going on. It's like you're going to impede progress because you're ridiculous, because you want to sit in an office and get paid. You don't care about the seals. You don't give a shite if the seals are scared, because if you were, you'd be out there with the seals. I don't see you out there. I see you sitting in your office making up ridiculous rules that you think are, you're making them up just on the freaking fly because you don't even think that an Elon's going to come along and actually do it. Good God. We got to get past that so we can progress in the world as a human species. Speaking of SpaceX, they will be going public soon. They're not currently public, but they will be going public. Let's see. They officially filed for their IPO, that's initial public offering. And let's see. It will likely be the largest IPO in history, with a potential valuation reaching $1.75 trillion. It's not the first private rocket company. There's we got got Rocket Labs, Astra, Orbital Sciences, and Northrop Grumman, of course, Boeing, Lockheed Martin with the Skunk Works division. And let's see. But the IPO SpaceX is going to be different. And I think that's mainly because of they're integrating XAI in it, which is a freaking behemoth. And then also they are including Starlink, which let's see, Starlink, they're including Starlink and XAI into it. So that is wild. SpaceX currently handles the vast majority of the world's commercial orbital launches. Holy smokes. So that's going to be insane. We got Gwen Shotwell talking about it. Let's see what's up. How long is this? Let's see how long this goes. And that's 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Let's see. So she's in the White House. Here we go.
I want to thank you for your leadership. Because of your work on this issue, I'm confident that we will win the race with AI with China and succeed in delivering inexpensive, abundant electricity for the American people. As you know, XAI builds huge supercomputers and data centers, and we build them fast. Currently, we're building one on the Tennessee-Mississippi state line. As part of today's commitment, we will take extensive additional steps to continue to reduce costs of electricity for our neighbors. Mr. President, we want to be on your team to deliver a big win for the American people. XAI will therefore commit to develop 1.2 gigawatts of power as our supercomputer's primary power source, and that will be for every additional data center as well. We will expand what is already the largest global megapack power installation in the world. The installation will provide enough backup power to power the city of Memphis, and more than sufficient energy to power the town of South Haven, Mississippi, where the data center resides. We will build new substations and invest in electrical infrastructure to provide stability to the area's grid. We will build state-of-the-art, we haven't talked about that yet, but this is actually quite important. We will build state-of-the-art water recycling plants that will protect approximately 4.7 billion gallons of water in the Memphis aquifer each year.
Wow. No one else is doing that. I don't see any other tech company building water plants to protect the aquifer. Like, I love Gwen Shotwell, by the way. She's incredible. This is huge. This is going to be amazing. And Shotwell, we are committed to deploying our AI technology to create a period of abundance where electricity becomes cheaper and people have access to the best goods and services humankind has ever seen. And now, Gwen Shotwell, if you don't know who she is, she's the CEO of SpaceX, and she has been the CEO of SpaceX for a very long time. All right, moving on. We got Figure. That's Brett Adcock over there. Now, Brett Adcock, he is the CEO of Figure. And you guys know this as my audience because I talk about Figure all the time. Figure has that slap gate. That gate slaps. So we got Figure over there. Now, I showed you the video of Figure sorting packages. This was a few months ago. I mean, maybe not even a few. I mean, I'm talking months ago. We got a video from Brett Adcock of Figure, I think Figure 2, sorting packages on a conveyor belt. And the first video had Figure, he needed to be on support straps. It looked like it was on support straps from like some sort of crane thing or a ceiling, but to kind of hold him up. And he was working off of, Figure, I think it was .2, was working off of that's Helix, the brain of Figure, that Brett Adcock, he built over there, Helix, and that's the brain of Figure. And that was Helix 1. So Helix 1, it was a two-system architect, System 1 and System 2. And then Brett, he put out a video of Figure sorting packages the third time. A second video. And this was like 2 weeks ago or something, or maybe even less than that, or like 3 weeks ago. Look, it was not that long. And this was Helix 2.2. So the first video was Helix 1. The second video he put out a few weeks ago was Helix 2. And then he just put another video out of Figure sorting packages with Helix 2. I think it's and this is Figure. Let me see. Is that Figure 3? That's the third month. Figure 3 running on Helix 2, sorting packages with that slap gate. Figure over there sorting packages with a slap gate. That gate slaps. He's over there, and guess what? He don't got that harness on anymore to support him up. He took that harness and he tore that Big Sean off. He's like, I don't need this anymore. Take it off. And then Figure walked over to the employees and he was like, you mess with me and I'll turn your hands into ashtrays. Go figure. It's exciting because from the very first video to this third video, it's just mind-blowing. And now this third video is debuting a software called Vulcan. Don't get it confused with that Jason Ballard over there of Icon, the 3D printing housing company I've talked about before. Their printer, the gantry style printer, which is on rails, they call it Vulcan. Okay, now this is a software for Figure that is also called Vulcan. So, I mean, it's really mind-blowing. And so let's go ahead and, I mean, Figure is over there. He's flying free. He's a free flyer. He's like a balloon just off in the wind, but controlled. This is fully autonomous. The robot is reasoning from camera pixels and computing torque to control its 30 plus motors. And let me get some sound on this.
Wait, sorry about that again.
So, this is, okay, Mark Baniff. I think it's Mark Baniff. Sounds like his voice, but someone is taking the packages, picking them up and throwing them back into Figure's pile. And Figure needs to, I think he's taking all the packages with the labels and he's flipping them upside down so the label is on the bottom. So this dude keeps throwing these packages back into the pile that Figure already did. And I'm sure Figure at this point is getting super freaking frustrated, but he is going and he's chipping through it and he's not complaining.
Okay, Figure Robotics. Pretty cool sorting algorithm. Its job is to turn these packages upside down. And I guess we can just take one. Let's see, we're going to take one of these packages. Oh, sorry.
We put out a video today.
Sorry about that. Oh, figured it out. Pretty cool. Wait, sorry about that again. And also this one. Its job is to flip them upside down. Yeah, it's really impressive, the Figure 03. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, God.
So he just keeps doing that, and yeah, that's kind of like stop doing that, but he keeps doing that, and it's cool to see. It's demonstrating how amazing Helix 2 is. It's incredible. So Helix 2 has a 3-system architecture versus Helix 1, which had a 2-system architecture. So they added on another system to Helix, and it's system 0. So it has system 0, 1, and 2 versus Helix 1, which is system 2, 1, and 2. So I'm looking though. I thought I had the link for Vulcan. This is this new software that I just told you guys about that Brett Adcock was talking about for Figure. It's basically I'm just gonna go to. I think I can find it because yeah, here we go. Here it is. Introducing Vulcan, a new AI robot controller. This is an important safety feature that allows a Figure 3 to lose up to 3 actuators in the lower body. That's huge. And still hobble around without falling. Guys, that is mind freaking blowing. What's an actuator? Guys, an actuator is in the joints, wherever. So say a human being has joints. So you have a humanoid, their joints are actuators. So you think like their foot joint, so their foot or their hand or like their hip or something, it can hobble around with 3 actuators. So it's saying like a human being, you lose 3 of your joints, you're going to be hobbling around. You're going to be hobbling around on the bichon. And you're going to be hobbling around like that bird, like that bird in the front yard, man. You see those birds in the front yard up on 1 foot. That's what you be like hobbling around without your 3 joints in the lower body. Then now figure he's doing the same. He has the same capability because of this software called Vulcan. Whoa. That's wild. God, Brett just keeps putting out the updates. Brett just keeps making, he came out with Hark, he came out with Helix 2, and now this Vulcan software so that Figure can work with 3 actuators out. They're done. They burned up in Figure's body and they can't work, but now Figure can work, and that's what Brett's coming out with. Brett's over there hoarding all the good AI software. That's what Brett is a moon hoarding slob. That's what he's doing. He's over there making it happen, Captain. So yes, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's see what's up with Figure being able to do this, man. So, okay, the evolution you're seeing in Brett Adcock's Figure robot is a result of a massive architectural shift from Helix 1 to Helix 2. It's powered by NVIDIA base. So again, Figure is powered by NVIDIA. So we got the death of the harness, the tether. He was able to rip that bichon off because Figure's like, I got a new brain. And I don't need your training wheels. I'm a free flyer. Figure's out there, he's like, I'm a free baller. I'm balling with that slap gate. So Figure 2 deleted all the C++ code. That's what they did for in Helix 2, the brain of Figure, the neural net. Brett Adcock and his team, they went over there and they deleted all the C++ code, replaced it with System 0, which is a neural network trained on over 1,000 hours of human motion data. It's faster because it learned rather than programmed. The robot was a whole body motion prior. It doesn't have to calculate physics equations to stay upright. It feels the balance through its sensors at 1,000 hertz. That's 1,000 times a second. Again, it feels the balance through its sensors to stay upright. It doesn't have to like calculate how to stay upright. Like it's calculating all the numbers and angles and like the obtuse angle, and that's a right angle, and that's a 90-degree angle, and it doesn't have to calculate that stuff. It just has sensor input, and it's able to figure out what to do and stay upright through the sensor input. This allows for those snappy human-like reflexes and confidence to operate without a tether. So Figure is operating on Helix 2 rather than Helix 1. So Helix 1, Figure was over there writing with a quill and inkwell, and now Figure over there just thinking, and things right down on this piece of paper for him. Figure over there, he thinks, and the computer just does it. That's what's going on. Does that make sense? No, not at all. Let's move on. Okay, so system, to reiterate, we've gone over this before. System, so we got a 3-system architecture, system 0, 1, and 2. We got system 0 is the athlete. It's the reflex. It's the super fast thing. It ensures that while the robot reaches for a box, it doesn't tip over or lose its footing. System 1 translates the goal into specific movements. It looks at the pixels and tactile data and decides how to reach for the box. System 2 is the CEO slower, high-level reasoning. It looks at the conveyor belt and says, that's a package, it needs to go in the bin. It's got that System 2, it's got that chonk in. System 2 got that real-time action chonk in. It chonky. And we'll get into that in a second. It's got that NVIDIA, I think it has a T5000 module, the Jetson Thor GPU, graphic processing unit, for the robot to be able to operate on edge computing, guys. And that means so it can operate on device. It doesn't need the cloud to move. It can operate on the device. And the NVIDIA, specifically the T5000 module, it is a freaking beast, okay? It's a beast of a GPU. It takes the Blackwell, which is a massive architecture powering the world's biggest data centers. That's a Blackwell GPU, CPU, I think a GPU, CPU, excuse me. It takes the Blackwell and it's kind of like splices it up. It's the distilled version of that power, specifically shrunk down and ruggedized to fit inside a robot's backpack, because you can't take a Blackwell and shove that into a computer. It's too much. You got to quantize it. So it's quantization. You're making it basically, it loses a tiny bit of reasoning power, but it doesn't make it dumber. Okay, there's no retard maxing. There's not a bone in Figure's body that is retard maxing. That's all I'm saying, all right? So it takes it uses multi-instance GPU. You might have seen MIG technology, MIG. The Thor can slice its Blackwell resources into different pieces. It's pretty wild. And it has a transformer engine in the Thor T5000 module. And it handles like a 4-bit to 16-bit. It switches bit. That's the bit switcher. It's like driving, you're driving in a car. Okay. You're driving there. Like that. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like if you want it to sound like your 911 GT3 RS while it's switching, you can go ahead and you can go ahead and request that it sounds like that while it switches bits. Okay, that's what I would like to see in my robot. But it's switching bits, all right? So basically an FP4, that's a 4-bit. The smaller the bit, the higher, the quicker it's going to be. But also the smaller bit, the less precise it's going to be. So by using lower precision for the reflex layer, the Thor gets a massive speed boost up to 2070 teraflops. And again, guys, a teraflop, a T-flop, that's a trillion floating point operations per second. A floating point operation is a single math calculation using decimal numbers. So that's what's going on in that robot brain over there. And so we got Vulcan. And Vulcan is keeping the robot able to hobble around if actuators short circuit, if they just stop moving. One of the actuators got some arthritis. One of the other actuator got a little too stressed out, and the other one got arthritis, and then they stopped working, and now Figure's able to hobble around because of Vulcan. And Vulcan is a robot controller stack. It's an operating system. It allows a human to give high-level commands, go sort those boxes, or even teleoperate remote control the robot to teach it new tasks. It bridges the gap between the human's intent and the robot's physical execution. It is a safety layer. Vulcan can help the robot stay standing even if it loses its actuators. Three of its lower body actuators is what lose up to 3 actuators in the lower body. And by the way, guys, those actuators aren't cheap, all right? That's why robots, they're not cheap yet, because you get one little joint, a finger actuator joint, that's going to be $200 a piece. All right, so Figure got an expensive hand. You think I'm high maintenance. I'm not high maintenance. I'm just high lev. I'm just working off. I just require a high lev of precision. That's all. So, and that's how Figure is. All right, it's highly functioning. So, and it got some of the best actuators in those little finger joints. Now, and again, Figure got those sensors in its hand. So there's a lot of haptics going on. Let's see. They aren't just building a machine, they were building a digital nervous system. Figure is a digital nervous system that has to be faster than a human's to keep that much weight from crashing to the floor. And that real-time action chunking again, guys, that helps the robot not fall over. It help. Well, maybe not. No, that's probably what you talking about, Lisa. Let's rewind. The real-time action chunking helps the robot think a little clearer. How about that? Maybe it affects the robot from not falling over, but that might be a stretch. So that real-time action chunking, you know how much I like talking about chunking. That chunky. Love it. So there's the old way, guys. The robot would ask its brain, what do I do now? Take a step. Okay, now what? Take another step. Okay, now what? It'd be so jerky, and it's like, that's definitely a robot because it's jerking around. It doesn't have any real-time action chunking. So now the new way is chunky. Chunkin. Old way, single step. New way, chunkin. You got to get some chunky into your life if you want to be a little more smooth and faster with the way you're making decisions and doing things. Come on. So we got, instead of one instruction, the brain sends a chunk of 16 to 100 instructions at once. It's like a musician reading a whole measure of music ahead of time instead of just one note. So the whole thing working together, system 1, system 2, and system 0. System 1 is so we got the chunking, the vision. It's a vision action language model. Vision language action model. That's the stack. All right. And system 0 is basically the smooth chunks. System 1 is sending the big chunks. And then let's see. The robot is saying, I see packages here. I see a package. Here is the smooth arc of motion to grab it and lift it. It takes in the video from the robot's eyes and the tactile data from its fingers and outputs chunks of movement. While System 1 sends a big chunk of action, System 0, the new layer that replaced all of the C++ code, is running at a much higher frequency, around 1000 hertz. It takes those chunks and makes sure the robot doesn't tip over while executing them. All right, I was right then. Real-time action chunking, make sure the robot don't tip over. Yes! I knew I was on the right track. I just had to go ahead and check myself. Sometimes you gotta check your facts. You know, nah, man. That's what's going on over here. Okay. I think that's all I'm gonna cover about this. I was gonna talk about like the Thor T5000 and how that affects with the chunking, but we're gonna move on. Let's move on. Let's move on from that. Where are we at? Ooh, we're getting close here. I gotta go. Okay, I gotta go put those potatoes in, man. I gotta go get the salad ready. Gotta make some chicken. But Lisa, you said you were having ribs. I know, but I need to make chicken. Chicken for tomorrow. Chicken. What are you guys doing out there? What are you doing out there? What are you guys having? Why am I talking about food? Because I think about it a lot, guys. That's the thing. That's what goes through my mind. I wonder if one day we're going to be able to have a robot that can go to restaurants with us, and they're not, you know what though? They're going to look at food and they're going to be like, what is this? It doesn't even appeal to me. That's wild. I wonder what they're going to, like, what's going to hit their chakras? What's going to hit their dopamine up? Chuck. All right. Let's name that robot. Someone put a video together of all of the robots that looked very familiar to me. So let's see if we can name that robot.
I have a theory that the robotics industry will follow a similar pattern to the car industry. Currently, we're seeing multiple
we got
companies
Figure.
working towards general purpose.
Oh, he just did the towels.
Do-it-all SUVs that we have seen
Figure walking around there.
in recent years.
We got a Unitree
of many segments.
That's
We're
still
also going to
figure.
have the workhorses for the physically
Atlas,
demanding
the new
industrial
Atlas,
side.
guys,
We'll
come
also
on.
creating
Sprout,
family-friendly
you know
models
about
that you feel
Sprout.
comfortable
Sprout over
being
there,
around
they just got
and work
acquired
well
by
with kids.
Amazon.
And then the impractical entertainment-focused
Who they
robots
gonna-
for your
who
average
dis?
midlife crisis.
What is that?
We're
Who
also
dis?
going to need a whole new ecosystem
That's
of
figure.
businesses for maintenance, customization.
Those are
and
Optimuses.
resale. If the
That's
robotics
Figure
industry is
again.
really
He's
going
putting
to
Figure
take
and
off the way
Optimus
big
together,
tech
all
hopes,
right.
It's going to need these
Oh, we know who
multiple
that
segments
is.
and
Who
much
was that little
support as
dude?
the
That's
car industry.
Sprout.
Let me know
That
if
was
you
Sunday
agree or
Robotics. That's
disagree, and if
Atlas.
there's anything
Yes,
else.
we're doing really good, guys. We're doing so good. All right, is that it? That's it. All right, we named all of them. Cool. Those robots be walking around out there. They'd be breaking legs off a chair and just start wailing on people who are mean to them. All right. No, I am a tech optimist, and I think good things are going to happen. And that's, I'd like to bring a little of optimism into the universe, and I'm going to wrap this up and stop talking before I just troll on and on and on. Thanks for being here with me, you guys, today. I really do. I just have to tell you, I love this time together with you. It just means so much to me, and I absolutely love it. I will talk to you next week, guys. Bye.